Welcome back to Under Oath. Welcome back to Under Oath. Today, I actually have a pretty cool. I got to talk to the creators of Cobra Kai and the new show, Obliterated. I got to talk to Josh Heel, John Hurwitz, and Hayden Schlossberg. Hopefully, I didn't murder any of those names, guys. Can you hear me?
No murders at all. Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Nice to be here.
Yeah, I've listened to a couple of your interviews just to get a flavor of what's going on, but you guys have had a pretty good run creating this huge popular show, and now you got to do this 8-series show. Why don't you tell me about it?
We've the three of us have known each other since teenagers, and we've had a nice run making R-rated comedies, and then we made the show Cobra Kai, which has been an absolute dream, and we're entering the 6th season of that. But we have coming out on Thursday Obliterated, which is our new action series. It's about this elite special forces unit who saves the day in a big action movie style. In the wake of saving the day, they throw this giant party in Vegas to celebrate, and all the booze is flowing, all the drugs are flowing, all the sex and dysfunction are flowing. And at the peak of the craziness at this party, they find out that the nuke that they stopped was a fake, and a real nuke is going to go off, and now they're back on the job. So it's a crazy, wild show. It's sort of a supersized, Hangover-esque tale or Die Hard type movie merged together as a streaming series for Netflix.
I noticed it's an 8-episode series as far as the first season goes. Is it following a certain timeline? Is it going to be, like 24 hours? I mean, how does the time work on this series?
The first episode kind of takes you in one day into the evening, into the after midnight hours. And then from that moment when the team learns that there is another nuke, the real one this time, that they have to go find, each episode kind of takes on a 24 pacing where it's about an hour per. So, it goes from day to night and eventually back to morning again. So the whole series takes place in about 24 hours.
It feels like I looked at the trailer and it felt very, when I was thinking, I thought of The Hangover first, but it felt a little A-teamy. I kind of enjoyed that. You got the older team leader, you got some of the younger guys. It seemed a lot of fun.
Absolutely. We love movies from the 80s and 90s. That's, why we were inspired to do, Cobra Kai. We love The Karate Kid, but we also loved action movies, and we're fans of that genre from the days of Schwarzenegger, Stallone, up to, the Mission Impossible movies today. And so I think, for fans of all of that kind of action, if you like that fun action, the action where, there's a little bit of comedy mixed in, kind of like, Bruce Willis in Die Hard. That's what you're getting on this series. But, as opposed to what you would maybe see on a CBS or a Fox or something like that, this is hard R-rated. So you're able to get, all those like big Vegas outrageous kind of water cooler moments mixed in with huge explosive action.
Now, there was a break because of the strike, and we were all going, what shows are coming? We were dying. We were looking forward to seeing everything, and we couldn't promote anything. I mean, this show comes out basically this week. I mean, and this is like the first time I've heard about it, and I think it's going to be this fantastic show. How hard is it not to want to promote a series during this whole process?
It was tough, especially for us with, we have this amazing cast. The actors are so much fun. You're going to fall in love with them on the show. We fell in love with them working with them. And, with the WGA strike ended and we were available for a little bit now, but the actors, had to stay mum until, about a week or so ago. And it was tough for everybody. But at the end of the day, this show is on Netflix. You'll turn on your Netflix, you'll see, the images, you'll see the trailer, you'll click on it, and, away we go. So it's been tough, but like you said, people are craving something new. And this show is just super fun. It's a wild ride. If you're looking for comedy that's going for laughs and you're looking for, a big, tense thriller mixed together, this is the show for you.
Now, what I love about this, and this is the same way, I get to write graphic novels and I get to do different genres. You go from this, let's call it a PG-rated, pretty wholesome show, Cobra Kai, to completely flying over to the dark side by doing Obliterated. How much fun and what kind of sale is that to make to the Netflix? Go, we got Cobra Kai. You going to do Cobra Kai spinoff? No, we're doing Obliterated. It's in Vegas about a guys who are doing party. I mean, how do you even make that sale? I would love to be in the room for that one.
Well, I mean, the good news is, we came from that R-rated, comedy world before Cobra Kai, with the Harold Kumar franchise, the Hot Time Machine franchise, American Reunion, Blockers, etc. So Cobra Kai was actually the departure for us, and we had to convince them that we could tone it down and write something for the whole family because of our love for the Karate Kid universe. And it's been an absolute dream to be in that. But, snapping the rubber band back and doing Obliterated is kind of where our instincts lie. And thankfully, our partners at Sony and Netflix really looked at us and said, "Shock us, go for it. Do your worst." And boy, did we! There are some things in here that we've never done before that actually shock us on 7th, 8th, 9th viewing, and we're very curious to see what people are going to think because we pushed the envelope farther than we've ever pushed before in our other R-rated material. And I'll just say, that despite the fact that this is quote unquote from the Cobra Kai guys, keep the kids away from this one. This is not for you kids. When you get older, perhaps this is Vegas after hours. This is extremely R-rated in all the best possible ways. And we're really, really proud of it.
Now, I've heard stories about network execs, everyone else trying to come in and put their finger on what you're trying to do. Did they just give you carte blanche, or was there some guy going, guys, you can't do that?
Netflix has been great to us. Everyone has their different experiences at studios, but, I think, our advice has always just been do what you want to do. And if suddenly there's an exec who wants to take your project in a different direction, well, it's like, it's a sign that you shouldn't be a part of that. And there have been times in our past where we have kind of parted ways on projects because we just feel creatively there isn't, there isn't like a shared vision. So with this, we just went in, pitched it, they loved it, and they trusted us. And when it came to casting, for example, they were like, listen, most studios are like, who's the star? Who's this? They freak out about all that stuff. Netflix is so cocky. They're like, listen, look at Stranger Things. Look at the stuff that we have here. We can make something a huge hit with relative unknowns. So go find the best people, find your friends. And so they not only supported us, but they let us, cast it in the way that we felt would be best. And it's just been great.
Well, talking about the 80s and 90s, one of your cast members, C. Thomas Howell, has been in everything. How cool was that? You grew up with him. How cool was it to be able to go, yeah, we got him?
It was the greatest. We have our experience working with one of the members of the Outsiders cast in Ralph Macchio, so we figured we'd check another one off the list. But C. Thomas Howell was amazing. And what was fun about this role is, even though he's done so many different things in his career, it's unlike anything. And, he knew immediately this is a big, bold, crazy role that, he feels like after people see Obliterated, they'll know him as Haggerty. And that's what he's going to be most known for because his character has as crazy a night as anyone on our show. And we'll just say our whole cast was up for anything and going for it when it comes to content. And C. Thomas Howell was no different. He was all in, and you'll see quite a bit of C. Thomas Howell in that first episode.
Now, there are three of you. And the hard thing sometimes with partnerships is how do we agree on things? I mean, do you basically all go, okay, we're good? Or do you actually each fight for what you want?
We have a lot of great fights. We've known each other since we were all 18 years old. And, we came up together in this industry, but we started as friends first who, just have a love for movies and for television and for story and for characters. So we have a lot of strong opinions. I would say 95% of the time, those opinions are completely aligned. 4% of the time they are mostly aligned, and 1% of the time there's a giant fight. and those fights actually bring out the worst of us, but the best of the story. And we're all very passionate about wanting to put the best possible story on the screen, and that's where it comes from. It never gets to a place of somebody is trying to manipulate the situation for their own advantage. And at the end of the day, I think we can look at everything we've done together and say we've gotten to that best possible place.
Now, Cobra Kai originally started on a lesser streaming service, and it was a fantastic show, but not enough people were getting to see it. But the minute it pops up on Netflix, it blows up. I mean, what does that do for you guys when you're going, oh my God, we just took off and we've been doing this for a year or two now?
It was a wild experience and shows you the power of the platform that Netflix has because, yeah, we shot 3 seasons of Cobra Kai for YouTube, 2 of which aired on YouTube. And, YouTube had enough, um, you know, it was a big enough platform where they were able to promote it in a way where I think people were aware of it. But to watch it through their platform was like a maze to get through. And at the end of the day, people are like, wait, I have to pay for something that's free? No, it's just that simple. And, so, it was kind of like we had a small fan base, but passionate fan base during the YouTube days. And then all of a sudden, Cobra Kai airs on Netflix, Labor Day weekend of like that summer, that first summer of the pandemic. And it was just like, whoa, all of a sudden our phones started blowing up and like people around us, that we grew up with are calling us, in ways that they haven't before. And you just saw how quick and fast it was in a matter of a weekend, just how like many millions of people saw Cobra Kai versus, on YouTube over the course of 3 years.
Now, when you produce something so big and it takes off, I mean, suddenly opportunities are everywhere. People who wouldn't talk to you before, the doors were closed, they weren't taking you seriously. Suddenly everybody wants to be in business with you. I mean, how tough is that to hold this off and go, well, we don't know how long it's going to last. Let's take what we can get. Or do you just go, hey, listen, we got to relax. We got to figure out the best projects to do. I mean, how do you even sit down and think about that?
No, it's exactly what you just said there. We've all been in this business for over 20 years at this point. We've had the highs and lows. We've made film franchises. We've made enough stuff over the years, and then I had those down periods where you have a labor of love. You're working on a script for many months or a year, and you think it's going to happen, and then the movie doesn't happen, and then suddenly you look up, and a couple years have gone by, and you haven't made anything. So we've had careers that have gone in the ups, the big highs and the lesser periods. So you always keep that in mind. But the one thing that we've always been true to throughout our careers is to do the work that we love. We've never found ourselves on a set of one of our projects not wanting to be there. It's always something that we're passionate about, that we're excited about. And, this has only been a blessing, to have Cobra Kai hit in the way that it has. It led to Obliterated happening in the best possible way, where we were able to make it with the right actors and the right partners and have enough of a budget to make it feel like this big action series. And we have plenty of ideas to come. And we have a production company, Counterbalance Entertainment, where we have lots of different projects that we're developing, and we're developing with other writers and other actors. So there's a lot to come from us, and it'll all be coming with a lot of passion behind it.
Now, the dream, it's always been the dream. Oh, TV was always secondary to movies. Now it feels like streaming services, you're talking hundreds of millions of people watching in comparison to, hey, you're lucky to get, a couple million. I mean, there's no stigma now based on these streaming services. And I think you get a little more freedom than you're used to by able to be using a Netflix or something like that.
Definitely. I mean, television is not the television that we grew up with. TV is kind of, you hit the nail on the head. It's kind of what movies are now, what that big storytelling, experience is, where there's lots of surprises, lurking around every corner, where there can be, true originality. And it's a tremendous playground. There's so much opportunity with streaming and with premium cable right now to tell stories that go to places that, frankly, movies, aren't doing enough of at the moment. That's not to say, the pendulum doesn't swing and it doesn't come roaring right back, because we love, writing movies and producing movies as well. But, having the room and the time to tell a story like Obliterated over the course of 7 or 8 hours is just something that, you get to tell a deeper story. You get to expand characters, relationships with one another and points of view in a way that, a 90-minute or a 120-minute movie never could. So for a writer, serialized television is kind of the dream.
In comic books, I've had the ability to write all my characters, everything I've always wanted. People always ask me what characters would I like to write if I had access to Marvel or DC. Now, you three guys are going to have pretty much carte blanche to do whatever you want now. Is there any character or series that you would like to do that has already been done before, whether it be like a James Bond or a action show on TV? Is there anything that you guys go, this is what we would love to do if we got the opportunity?
There definitely are those things. There's so many because you grow up as a fan of movies and TV, and you love everything. So it's really just there has to be a reason why we're telling the story beyond we love that movie or that TV show. So for example, with Cobra Kai, we love the Karate Kid, but when we were talking about the idea for doing Cobra Kai, it was spawned from thinking like, hey, what happened to the bully from our high school? That was a story that we can connect with, and we felt like that hasn't been told before. Like those jocks in high school who are the kings of school, and then like what happens to them afterwards. Well, there's a story for us, and then you bring in the franchise, and now you have something that's fresh but also familiar. And I think that's always the trick. So, like for example, Back to the Future is one of those movies that's like right there next to Karate Kid in our old VHX collection, and that's something that we've thought about and we have ideas for. The challenge is sometimes these properties have red tape around them in terms of studios and producers that don't want to remake them. So it's a process of saying like, number one, is there a good story to tell? And two, can we actually get the rights? And I'll just say there's definitely other things. You mentioned James Bond that we would love to get into. It just has to be the right thing.
It's interesting because you can only do so much at the same time. I can only write one book at the same time. You guys can maybe if you have teams of people, but it's tough. How many things are in the shoot where you're going, God, I want to get to it, but we're just too busy?
Oh, I mean, that happens all the time. I mean, we have, Hayden and I created the Harold and Kumar film franchise, and we've been for years talking about making a fourth movie of that, but we've been too busy, working on, Cobra Kai and now Obliterated and some other stuff. We have constant ideas, but like you said, you can only really do one major thing at a time. And, we've, built up this production company where, we have some wonderful executives working for us, and we have a lot of, really talented writers and directors and acting talent that is at our disposal. So we have a variety of projects that we can, help get going and, put our touches on while trusting other really talented people that we believe in to tell their stories. So it's you're trying to find a way to put as much, really fun, crowd-pleasing entertainment out there as possible. But for now, it's we have Obliterated coming out right now, but we're in the writer's room for the final season of Cobra Kai, and we're heading to that shoot in January. And for the next several months after that, it's going to be all Cobra Kai all the time.
Well, we've got about a minute left. Why don't you guys, Obliterated is on Netflix. Cobra Kai is also on Netflix. Is there anything else we could search you online or figure out anything else we can get in touch with you guys?
We're all on social media. If you search any of our names, Josh Heald, John Hurwitz, Hayden Schlossberg, you'll find us on Twitter and Instagram, most notably. We love engaging with the fans. We love posting content. We love talking about the shows and answering questions. And we're just excited for people to dip their toes into this Vegas adventure. It's going to go to some places that you're not expecting. And I think you're going to come out of it really satisfied.
Well, it's great talking to you guys. Hope to talk to you soon.